Talk to me.
Okay. It seems like a lot of times this year in the opening series, the opponent's been able to drive the ball down the field and score. And with Navy yesterday, is it always just an adjustment when you're facing that kind of offense? Just talk to me about that first series.
Yeah, so
what you saw.
Yeah, the first series. So it's hard to assimilate that type of speed of the triple option at practice. So going into it, we knew, okay, once they settle down as far as how fast it is, we will be fine. And that was basically what it was, and it was a misfit there. They hit us on a trap that went for some long yards there, and it was just a misfit. We just got to get under the puller, that sort of deal. But it happened so fast. So just getting the speed of it during the game, as far as what happened last night, as far as the first drive. But then let me see, the week before that. Week before that, it wasn't the first. I'm just trying to think week to week. But last night, it was just the speed of the triple option, and hats off to them. And it was a good drive for them.
They started 5 of 9 on third down. In the second half, they went 0 for 8, I believe. What changed on third down that maybe you guys had an advantage?
Yeah, I think the down and distance played a key role in it, and it's third because they want to get into the 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 1s, but you get them in those 3rd and 5 plus, then now you got to get out of their zone as far as what they want to do. Now, it was times they still ran the ball because that's just what they do. Just getting them in those long yardage situations. They want to run to shorten the yardage. It's 4-down territory every time. So in the second half, it's just understanding what they were doing. We come to halftime, we made adjustments, and this is exactly what they're doing. This is what we knew they was going to do this. This is how we fit it up. We made a couple of adjustments scheme-wise up front to help us out as well, but just understanding what the opponent is going to do and just making adjustments off of it.
Your defense was stronger in the second half on the third down, but the fourth downs, they seemed to succeed with those. What would you have preferred happen? What would you
not get 4th and inches.
What should that happen?
Not get 4th and inches. I mean, I don't know what it means. It's 4th and 1. I just don't get in that situation, and we got to do a better job not getting in the 4th and 1 situation. So, I mean, it's 4-down territory versus Navy every time.
You guys held to just a field goal in the second half, which they got on a short field. You talked about the adjustments at halftime. What did you do differently that you think kind of helped you in that second half?
Yeah, just understand. So going into the game, you look at last year, it was okay. What we're not going to do is give you the option to the field. We're just going to take that away. Because last year we said, okay, stop the dive. Yeah, the pitch to the field. So stop the dive, stop the dive, stop the dive. Whereas last year, the pitch was there. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're not going to run the pitch. We're going to fix that. You're going to have to try something else. So what we was doing is, okay, you're not going to run the pitch to the field. You're going to have to go to the boundary. So once they saw what we're in, they was running the trap. And then they started doing the load option to the boundary. So we forced the hand, okay, if you're going to run the option, it's going to have to be, to the boundary. And then they got in condensed splits and they started doing the rocket sweep. So they were doing some different stuff that they didn't show throughout the season. They had an answer for everything. We're not going to show them anything that's new to them. Then they had the trap option as well. So just being able to adjust to it, and our guys coming into halftime was okay. This is what they're doing. This is our adjustment to it. And just making sure everybody have their cleats in the grass and just understanding what we're doing. Every individual person doing their job for the big picture to come together.
I know you guys have the 24-hour rule. We talked to Ricky Barber after the game, right after the game. He seemed, relatively in a good mood, I suppose. But what did you like about his personality, his attitude after a loss like that?
Yeah, the last 3-4 games, Rick has been playing lights out. Ricky had a career high last night, 13 tackles. He PR'd as far as his tackles, had his personal record there. He's been playing at a high level, and when he goes, our defense goes. Because everything starts up front. And, I told him today that he's been playing at a high level, and we got to continue to do that. He has to continue to play at a high level because he's capable of just taking over a game.
What do you think of the job your team did tackling?
I thought we did solid. We could do better. There was times we had them in the boundary, and they bounced off a tackle there. It was another time on the rocket sweep we overran it, but I thought the guys tried to play physical. I thought they tried to wrap the guy. Now it was another time they ran the belly. We thought we had him in the backfield, and he comes out of there and bounce out. So just running our feet on tackle, we got to work on that. We got to do a better job at that. Not the butt down tackle, just bringing your arms and your legs, running your feet on tackles is what we got to improve on. and we'll work on that this week and getting ready for the next opponent.
Obviously, Jeremiah couldn't go. Jason Johnson and Walter Yates played most of the snaps. What would you like about the linebacker position? How those guys do?
Yeah, just me and Jason. He shows up every week. He's had, what I'm looking at it now, 13 tackles. I think he's over 100 tackles for the season. He's a kid doesn't come off the field, doesn't want to come off the field. Walter Yates had his best game. He had 11 tackles. And he's a guy that's continue to play, and he knows, just like I told him from the defense, I like the way he came out and really wanted to get better. Don't complain. Last week we had a freshman start, and he didn't complain. He cheered on the freshman, Cam Moore, and was a great teammate, and he came back to work the next week, and he started this week and had his best game. But both of those guys going out there, and they played a lot of snaps and tried to play a physical brand of football and made a lot of tackles. So I'm happy for both of those guys.
Chip wasn't part of the staff last year, but you were for that 17-13 game here between UCF and USF. Just what do you know about this team and the aspect of it being a rival game?
Yeah, we're going to get their best shot. It's a rival, so anything goes and anything can happen. And you got to come with your best game. You got to come with your best mindset. This is a rivalry that's important to a lot of people, and we got to be prepared. We will be prepared. And you watch them on offense. They score a lot of points. They get a lot of yardage, and offense they're not lacking offensively. So we're going to go in there and we got to have a great plan. We got to have a great plan, and you saw them last week. They did more trick plays than usual, so they have nothing to lose. We expecting every trick play in the book, and every call in the book, every motion in the book, every shift in the book. So we just got to be prepared.
What's most frustrating, knowing that you had your destiny much more in control going into the Navy game than you do now? You got to look at the scoreboard. A lot of other things have to happen.
As far as what destiny? What you mean?
Controlling your destiny going to the AAC championship game.
You got to go play the next game. You got to go win the next game and let everything else take. Right now, it's just South Florida and the rivalry that's important to a lot of people. We got to be prepared for that because that's the next game. Whatever happens after that, it is what it is. But South Florida is on our mind. And like I said, it's important to this university, important to our seniors, important to our fans to really look at South Florida and be prepared for them.
You mentioned, I know it's still early in the week in terms of looking at USF, but they got an interim coach, they got a quarterback that's only been playing a few games. Their starter got injured, but it's one of those games for them. It's their Super Bowl. They're not going to a bowl game. This is the last game scheduled against UCF. It's a rivalry that may not continue in the future. I guess from someone who's been here, do you get a sense of how big this game is to a lot of people?
Yes, it is. It's a big game. It's a big game every year, and like I said, it's a big game to our university and our fans and our students and former players, and so we got to prepare, and we respect them. We respect every team that we play, and we're gonna show them respect by preparing for them and giving them our best shot, and that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do, and that's why we got to let this one go so we can get prepared for the next one. So we will be prepared, and they'll be prepared as well, and it'll be a good battle on Saturday. Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Always good.